Hi, my name is Jonathan dos Santos. I'm 34 years old. I'm from Brazil and I'm the ballet director of Ballet Schwerin in Germany. I started dancing when I was 10 years old, and as a good Brazilian, I started with samba, with jazz, contemporary, and tap dance, and ballet classical. I think this was very good for me and this helped me a lot to become a versatile dancer, that you can do everything. And then when I started dancing professionally, I also had the opportunity to be in a company where I had to do Nutcracker and be a little bit more classical, and also I had the opportunity to dance with different choreographers, contemporary choreographers, and to go more groundish, and yes. And I think this just was very good for my career, and I tried, now that I'm director, to do exactly the same for my dancers, to bring classical choreographers and to bring more modern choreographers that they can experiment all different types of dance. And also in a more human level, I would say that I learned since I was very small to respect my director, to respect my teachers, and to respect my colleagues around me. And I think this is also what I try to cultivate in the company now, that the dancers, they really respect each other and they really help each other and they support each other and they're happy for each other, and that they grow together as a team, and that we don't create this competition environment where they fight with each other, but that they support each other. So I always loved to choreograph and to create. So I arrived in a moment of my career that I was very happy and very in peace with everything that I danced. So for me, my transition from dancer to assistant, and then from assistant to director, was quite natural, because I felt I was ready to give the next step. I think if you love dance, you should dance a lot, so you don't regret when you stop, right? Because when you become an assistant or when you become a director, and then you're not on stage anymore, and then you cannot perform anymore. So if you really think your thing is to be on stage and to dance, I would encourage you to dance as long as you can. In my case, I wanted to be in the other side. I wanted to be in the other side of the studio. So it was not anymore about me, it was about the dancers. It was about, how can I help the dancers in class? How can I help the dancers to do good in the choreography or on stage? How can I help a dancer that it's a little bit sad or going through pain? How can I be helpful? And I think that's the job of the ballet master, the assistant. It's really to be there to help the dancers. And for me, that was the biggest difference. It was not about me anymore, it was about the dancers. And now that I changed again, and now that I'm the director, it's like about everyone. It's about my dancers, it's about my assistant, it's about the company manager. How it's everyone. It's everyone able to do their job the best they can. Do they have a nice environment where they are? Can they work well and happy? Am I being a good asset to the company? And I'm offering the best I can, the best plan, the best choreographers, the best class, the best guest teachers. So for me, that's the biggest difference now. It's not about me anymore, it's about the company. Yes, I think if you want to be a choreographer, if you want to be a director, if you want to be a teacher, and you're sure about that, my advice would be, try to start already when you're a dancer, maybe to give class sometimes. I remember my director let us sometimes give classes, like one time a week, for the people who would like to, or if in your company or in your school they let you choreograph. I would encourage you to really take this opportunity and to start already when you are a dancer, to see if you really like to teach, or if you really like to choreograph, or sometimes you like to organize the plan of the day, to organize the choreography. You like to clean the choreography, I think it's important while you're a dancer to start having this little taste, to see if that's really what you like. And like this, you don't have to stop dancing and then start from zero, but you can really, yeah, you can when you stop dancing and then you're really sure what you want to do. I think ballet is ballet, right? I think the basic is the technique. I think it's very important that we keep the traditional ballet training every day. I think that's very important to have the basic. I think also if you think about the old choreographers that were like genius, and I think that's very important, I think, for us to keep investing in watching them and asking, questioning maybe, why are they so good? You know, I think these unique choreographers that were in the past, yeah, they are genius, and I think it's very important for our generation to really stop and look to them and try to understand why. Is this the musicality? Is it the movement? Is it the, what is it? What is the magic that they have? And I think that's very important, because I think we live in a moment now where we want to do new things. But we need to remember that everything was already done, right? I think it's very important for this new generation that we dance new stuff and new choreographers. And that's why I think it's important that we give the chance to the new generations to create and to express themselves. So we can go like different directions, and at the same time keeping the tradition and keeping the nice and old choreographers. And I think that's a perfect balance when you can do both. You can have that very pure dance and very poetic even dance, and that you can snap and that you can go like crazy and weird. And I think it's very nice that you're able to do both, and you really study the old classics and the geniuses of dance. I think definitely coming from Brazil, which is so far away, coming from a family without money and without resources, it was very important that people were supporting me. So of course when I was very little, I had teachers that support me, my family support me, but I would say very important for me in the beginning. I have a brother and he's also a dancer, and we started together when I was 10, he was 8, and I think we just got here today because we really stick together and we support each other. And being two boys in Brazil, you know, it's a football country, it's not a ballet country. So we had a lot of situations that we should have stopped dancing and go to a normal job or go play football. But we stay strong together, and with the support of some teachers and my mom, and we finally got in Germany. And then I feel that when I became a professional dancer, I definitely had a lot of support from my ex-director 𝗕𝗹𝗹𝗲𝗁 from Stuttgart and my brother's director 𝗕𝗹𝗹𝗲𝗁. I think 𝗕𝗹𝗹𝗁, she was a big ballerina in Germany, and she gave me my first opportunity to create for a ballet company. Because before that, I was only creating for modern choreographers, contemporary choreographers. And she gave me the first opportunity to choreograph for ballerinas. And there in Karlsruhe in Germany was where everything started. And so I would say that 𝗕𝗹𝗹𝗁 and 𝗕𝗹𝗹𝗲 gave me a lot of support in my career. And I think I knew I wanted to be a choreographer, and I knew I wanted to be a director since I was small. Like, I think when I was 10, I already knew I wanted to organize, I wanted to put people together, I wanted to create. This was always clear. But then the support was the people around me. And then, for sure, inspiration, I was always very inspired by Paris opera, and by Balanchine, by New York City, and then by Kirov. I remember I was very little and I used to watch this big ballet, Paquita from Paris opera, and I loved it, everything so much. And then when I grew older, and then I started to have more contact with modern, and then for me was like Ohad Naharin, Marco Gauquet, and Hofesh, And then I remember my two worlds just like colliding, and it was not a crash, but it was really like a beautiful meeting where I started putting together my passion for ballet and that new thing, that new experience that was contemporary. And yeah, it was magical because I started doing ballet with a mentality of contemporary dancer, which was very interesting because I was like, okay, how can I do this arabesque with a gaga mentality? I was thinking, you know, like by floating and by reaching, and like, and all this made my dance much richer. And then I started to have much more dynamics, and yeah, this was a beautiful encounter. So I had many idols, I would say, when I was little, like very balletic and very modern and contemporary. I feel that I was very privileged to have the opportunity to work with so many different people and choreographers, but I also know that this privilege I would not have everywhere. I think if you are in a very small company from the Staatstheater, the budget is very limited and you cannot really bring these big choreographers, and it's sad, it's a pity, no? Because not everybody will work in a big company or with a lot of money. So I think my goal now, my dream now as a director is that I can bring these choreographers to work with my dancers. And how I'm gonna do that, I try to really contact them. I just write them, I just call them, and I really say, remember me, remember Jonathan. And yeah, and I'm being very lucky. I think a lot of choreographers are very happy that I'm in this position now, and they really want to support me and they want to support my company. And yes, I'm having shooting now beautiful choreographers like 𝗕𝗹𝗶𝗶𝗁, like Caetano Soto, like Andonis Voniadakis, Barack Marshall, Garrett Smith, like beautiful names that I would never imagine that I could bring these people to Schwerin. And I'm working very hard right now to contact all these people and to negotiate, because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of investment, and for a small company, it's very hard. It's very hard to bring these people. And yes, and I'm succeeding. It's a lot of many hours in the office. And yeah, I'm very happy. I get emotional, sorry. I think it's very important that we keep the theaters a place where we can express ourselves. And sometimes what I feel or how I feel, maybe not everybody will like it, you know, but I think the important, it's really that as artists, we have the space to express ourselves, and I think the goal is to make the audience feel something, right? So sometimes they would be happy, but maybe sometimes they would be a little irritated and a little angry, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to make the audience think a little bit, not always give very easy to the audience, to make them think a little bit. And I think sometimes it's fun to have a little story on stage, and to have something abstract, and to have classical music, and to have a more electronic music. Why not? So I really think we should keep the stage and we should keep the theater an open space where people can really express, and most of all respect each other's art. And I think we don't have really to put things in boxes like this is good, this is bad. Of course, there is a quality where we want to work for and towards, and I think by respecting cultures and respecting different styles, I think that's the most important. But yes, I think freedom and passion, and keep curious. I think we should keep things curious and exploring and questioning and trying, and don't be afraid. I think it's very important to bring new audience to the theaters, especially in Germany. I have the feeling that the audience is very conservative and almost like the elite. And I think it's very important that we go to the schools, we go to the hospitals, we go to the piazzas, we go to the Signorenhaus, we go to places and we really try to bring the audience to the theater. Sometimes I think you need to dance like a fun music, to take the pom-pom and go to a game and go to a concert and, you know, put the sneakers and just do something fun. Because I really think it's important for you to connect with the people, with the audience, and to make them connect to you. I think it's important to educate the audience before you start maybe with very serious pieces that maybe sometimes the audience is not ready yet. So I think it's very important exactly to go, don't wait for them to come to the theater, but really go to the schools, go to the events, go and dance, or do a workshop, or exactly invite them to the theater for free for a workshop, or to see a class on stage. Things like this, where you can really bring the young audience to the theater, and yeah, and then once they are with you, and they're gonna keep coming, that's for sure. I love to dance very, very fast by nature. It was always like this. I don't know if it's because I have a lot of energy, but everything for me has to be super fast. And I love ballet. So if you think about fast and ballet, I love how the Americans dance, like how fast they are. So if I would say one name, I would say I would love to work with Tyler Peck from New York City Ballet. I think that would be an explosive combination. I think being a dancer, but dancing far away from your family, from your country, your audience. My mother came one time to Germany to see me performing and to see my brother performing. And I think that for me was a very special moment because she saw me on stage, she saw my brother on stage, and she saw my choreography on stage. So definitely for me, that period when she was here, it was, I would never forget. As a director, it's different. I have the feeling now that I became director that I'm much more emotional. Every day I see the dancers in class, I get emotional, and then every time I see them on stage, also I get very emotional somehow. I think it's because I know how hard is their job, and I know that they're giving so much, and then when they have a good performance, and when they're happy on stage, I think this, it's very special for me, and I have the privilege to have this very often, like every day. I come from a place and a time where if you're in a school, you need to be inside this little box, and everybody needs to look the same, everybody needs to breathe the same and to dance the same. And then when you finish the school and you go to do an audition and to see a company, and then you see that it's completely opposite, it's the other way around, and then you start seeing that the directors are asking you to be different and to be unique and to be experienced and to be, and then you're like, oh my God, but wait, I just learned how to be very proper, and now I need to move big and to be an animal. So I think the opportunity that the dancers are having here, it's unique and it's so special. I think they're so lucky to have such a beautiful place and to have this contact with different choreographers and different teachers and different directors that they are already learning and they see exactly what is the reality out there. I came here not knowing what to expect, and then already in class they are so concentrated, but they are so fast. That's very rare that you start like just teaching a different style to them and they are super fast. And why? Because they are used to. Because they are used to work with different people and they are used to, yes, to have this experience. So I think it's such a beautiful initiative. It's such a beautiful place, and everything happens so fast, which is exactly the reality, right? If you go to an audition, you don't have time. No, you go and you have to show. And so you're really preparing the dancers here to the big world out there. And I really believe that when they start going for auditions and when they start working with different people, sometimes crazy people, you know, they're gonna be really relaxed about it. They're gonna be like, okay, let's just do it. And yeah, that's very, very nice. And I feel very welcome and I feel I can be myself, which I can be a little bit crazy sometimes and a little bit too much. But I really felt comfortable, and I really felt that we could laugh, but they were really paying attention, and they were like trying their best. Yes, and then I'm very looking forward to this moment, to have the contact with the parents, because that's another thing that it's very important. I think because the dancers, they need the support from their families. And sometimes they don't get the support because the family doesn't really understand or doesn't really see what they do. Because sometimes you can think, oh, ballet is just for fun, go there to the school and then come back. But they really take this seriously, and they really take as a job and as a career. So for the parents to come here and to see how hard they are working and all the effort they are putting and all the passion they are putting, that's unique. And then also not only with their teachers, but with teachers from the outside, with choreographers and directors. And yes, that's an incredible experience, and I really hope this format that people copy, right? I know sometimes we want to keep for us, but I think that's such a beautiful thing that everybody should be doing that. And I'm very thankful for being here.